Bears fans, YouTube, welcome back. This is Bears Fans Talk Podcast. If you're new here, we are an up-and-coming young podcast looking for some support, so we very much appreciate you for clicking on and listening. I'm Johnny CMD, here as always with the main event, Kevin Haggerty. And it finally happened. The Bears draft is come and gone. You know, we had a podcast last week. I feel like we hit the nail on the head. I think we knew pretty much what was going to happen, but, you know, Kevin, it's still good to see that, you know, we're moving on to the next chapter.
I mean, just like the takeaway, like there's so much hype. You knew the Bears were going to take Caleb number one, but when it actually happened, I actually made sure my son was up for the pick.
Oh yeah,
just to watch.
Just to watch the history.
Just so he knows.
Mm-hmm. Where were you when
Caleb Williams was drafted?
The greatest Chicago quarterback in history was drafted.
Exactly, and like just for him to like be there and see it, and just like, you know, one day he can tell his buddies, but like. I feel like it wasn't anticlimactic because we knew it was going to happen, but it was just like so happy it occurred, and it was super exciting. And his reaction and just the way his demeanor about it, how he's going about it, as you're putting up your pinky finger. Like he painted his pinky finger, which is, you know.
I liked it. You know, it matched the accents of his suit. It matched his girl's dress. That's what he said.
Speaking of his girl, so I like went down like a rabbit hole after I got drafted, and I just like, you know, I just want to figure it out, right? I couldn't find much.
Do your research. Were you just trying to find out like who she is and like, what she's about?
Yeah, so like Mitch, you know, I still follow his girl Haley. She's cute. She's awesome. They got a kid, really cute kid.
I think they might have a second one on the way too.
I'm super happy for Mitch. But like, you know, I don't know who Justin was dating, but I like wanted to check it out. She's pretty private. Mm-hmm. Her profile is private. She had like 4.
Caleb's girl is.
Yeah. But she was really cute and nice, and brought his ma. Like I'd bring my ma too. So. Yeah.
So we've been talking about Caleb Williams for months. For people who might not know anything, maybe we got some casual Bears fans who's kind of checking up on, you know, what's been going on with the draft. So a little bit of I got a little bit of a breakdown on each of the Bears picks.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just want to do a couple stats, a couple of notable things. So Caleb Williams.
Yep.
3-year NCAA career.
Yep.
Started at Oklahoma.
Yep.
Am I correct in saying? Okay.
Yep. With Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, and then transferred to USC.
Because Lincoln Riley became the head coach.
Yes. So 2022.
Yep.
He threw for over 4,500 yards, 42 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and he won the Heisman.
Those are sexy numbers.
Those are great numbers.
So if we would have came out, which would have been the first year he was eligible, because he was eligible last year to come out. Mm-hmm. He would have been the unanimous number 1 overall pick without question.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
No, everyone knew it. He would have. Bryce Young wouldn't even been in the conversation. Yeah. Caleb was going to go, but he went back another year.
Did he ever say why? I always wonder why people make the decision to do it.
I think NIL money kind of made a difference for him.
Yeah, because if you're going to get paid.
Yeah, and I think you know, he may not have wanted to come out. Maybe he wanted to come back, and you know, I know he didn't have a great his last season, which I don't know if it was his junior or senior year.
I guess it would have technically been his junior year.
But he's got redshirted, I think.
I don't know, maybe. This is his second full year. Wins the Heisman.
Yeah.
Year 3.
Yeah. At USC.
Yeah, a little bit of a fall off. So USC starts 6-0.
Yep.
They end up losing 5 of their last 7. Their first loss comes against Notre Dame, which is there's a lot of people in our circle love to bring up that game.
I know, that's all they talk about.
Yes,
because like
the Notre Dame game.
So the thing is that like USC is on the West Coast, right, and they're in the Pac-12, right? Like we just don't have that exposure to the Pac-12 like we do because we're in Big Ten country.
Yeah.
Like, and we really only watch Big Ten games, and we have a ton of Notre Dame fans. So I feel like the one game that most people in the Chicagoland area watched was the Notre Dame game, and he did not have a good game.
He did not. So 5 of the last 7 games, they played 5 ranked teams, which is pretty like a grueling haul. Yeah. But he only went 1-4 against those 5 ranked teams. Yeah. He ended up with the season compared to the 4,500 the year before, only 3,600, 30-5. Yeah. So a little bit more of a pedestrian season. It really kind of what brought on the haters, like, you know, when we're talking about this like parody and we're talking about Justin Fields in the last couple of months, like, oh, do we want Caleb Williams? Like, he can't play well against good teams, or the knocks against him, or all the personality knocks.
The personality thing was I think actually his personality is a strength to him.
100%.
Because like what I've seen since Caleb's been drafted and all the interviews he's done and he seems he cares, which is something is like, say what you want about Justin, say what you want, whatever, but like he didn't look like he cared.
It's not okay. Then we're going to play a couple clips, and I showed you this before we started. But I don't think it's so much the dichotomy of caring versus not caring. You know what? I think there's a lot of like coaching or a lot of like players who come out and they just want to like have this humble kind of like aspect to them, which is great. But I think it's also kind of a defense mechanism to kind of like shield themselves from like heavy expectations. Like Justin Fields, like, he was like, I'm just gonna put my head down and work. I'm gonna try and do my best for a team, and like blue collar people love that. I think Caleb Williams' mindset is more like, I want to chase greatness. And I want this city building a statue for me. I want to win 8 Super Bowls. I want to chase Tom Brady.
But I also think he wants to be him.
Yeah.
You being your true authentic self is always going to be better than trying to put up a guard or put up a wall. Like, if you be you, it's going to be better for everyone.
Well, no, I mean, to play devil's advocate to that point, putting yourself out there and painting your nails and crying on a national stage, like you're opening yourself up for criticism, which is if you just decided not to do that, and like, because like, I think a lot of celebrities across all walks of the industry say like, I want me to be me and my circle. I don't think that belongs to everybody. Versus someone like Caleb was just like he's been a very vocal guy, he's been a funny guy, he's he's been putting his quirks out there, and it opens himself up for criticism. Some people don't want to do that.
So you know me, right, John? Like I'm gonna be me. Like I'm gonna be Kevin Haggard.
You're also not an ESPN. But go on.
But what I'm saying though is I believe in being your true authentic self. Okay. Right? Like everything I do, like I hate to like even at work, like I call people bro at work because that's who I am. Yeah. Right? Like I'm just like, why change yourself just because you're in a setting? And when you are who you are as a human being, I believe the best of yourself will come through. And an actor is a completely different thing. Those guys are weird. No, I don't want a professional athlete. Like I want to see you. I want to I want to be part of whatever you're doing and being part of, and share with us. Yeah.
So obviously the personality things are like a big talking point in Caleb Williams. From everything that I've seen, I'm going to put that to bed. I'm hyped. Me too. I'm hyped for what he's bringing to the table from that standpoint. But going to his football. So the pros, and we've through the last couple of months have watched lots of highlights of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a guy who could be sprinting and make a off-balance throw across his body 40 yards. Dead on the money, right on target.
On the dime, yeah.
He's like an improvisational guy, and he's got a big arm that can make all of the throws.
Well, not only that, but like his QB intelligence is just unbelievable, and like he doesn't look to run first, which I felt Justin ran a lot. Yeah. Like I felt it was almost his primary read was to run sometimes. Like he looked back, like he'll go through his progressions, he'll read it, like. Caleb seems like he has all the pieces to he deserves to be the number 1 overall pick, and he deserves the hype. Yeah. And you get into the running point. I think it's like if you're scrambling, I think Justin Fields is looking for running lanes, and I think it worked out for him. He had those big splash plays, but I think it was fun.
I think most not most quarterbacks, but like most of the great ones, like having their eyes down the field, like I think that's like the big difference there. But the cons in Caleb Williams' game that people were saying is one is the big thing, like, can he actually play against elite teams? Because he didn't get the opportunity. But can he excel in the pocket? Can he have poise in the pocket? Because we're seeing all these like offies. I mean, I think so too. But I think that's one of the realistic knocks is like you're seeing all these acrobatic plays, but can he just like hold up in the pocket, and can he deliver a throw on time? Like not have to create something by scrambling first. Can he read a defense and make an on-time throw?
And I don't want to spend all day on Caleb, and I know it's the best thing, but what I can say about him is I think Caleb Williams is going to be a coachable quarterback. Yeah. And I think that like we have a clean slate with a new quarterback, and I believe in Eberflus, and I think Shane Wallen, I believe in both of them, and I think that they're going to get this right. And I think they're going to coach him from day one, and he's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, I
think he could do it all.
I'm all hype. Me too. You know me. I want to end the Caleb talk, which is something that I've been talking about for like the last couple of years. And I don't want this to turn into a Justin Fields hating podcast.
We don't hate Justin.
And I know, and that's not what I'm trying to do here. Yeah. Because I hope that Justin Fields, I hope Russell Wilson is cooked. The metal in the microwave has finally burned down his house, and Justin Fields gets a chance to play 51% of the snaps, and the Bears get a better draft pick. Yep. But I remember when we drafted Justin Fields, and I actually went back and looked up the video of when he got the call. So I just want to share this, and I just kind of want to contrast it to what we saw from Caleb Williams when he was drafted. So I apologize if you can't hear this. I'll kind of break it down, but just a couple of seconds from the moment that Justin Fields got the call from Matt Nagy.
Hello, Justin. sir. Let's do it.
Well, let's go, man. We are so excited. All those talks and just where you've been and just we're excited as heck to get here. And man, I'm just so happy for you and your family. We worked hard to get to this point, and now it's time to go. All right, good.
Yeah, all right, good. And to not to be a hypocrite, I guess a couple of seconds when he actually gets the pick, just like
my Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Yeah. And not to be hypocritical from what I just said before, like Justin Fields does not owe it to us to give us like that big, he's on camera. Maybe that's just not the type of person he is, but it doesn't exactly make me want to run through a wall.
I mean, I said it before on the last podcast. Like, just my advice to Caleb was like, show some emotion when you get drafted and be excited. Yeah. And that's all we saw was just straight emotion.
To comparison, so we have the video of the moment that Caleb Williams was drafted.
Yeah.
When you see all the things that come with Caleb Williams, people have talked about.
I can just see it now. Scoring a touchdown and him just running out.
And I can tell you from experience, this guy has.
So, that being said, to wrap up on the Caleb Williams talk, that meme, I don't know if you're able to see it up top, it said like, Bears fans haven't been this excited since Justin Fields was drafted 3 years ago. And I just want to go on record as saying, and Kevin, I think you can back me up on this, when we traded up to draft Mitch Trubisky, I was like, in the moment, I was like, what did we just do?
For Mitch?
No, when we drafted Mitch.
Yeah.
And even when we drafted Fields, because I'll take it back the way back machine, we traded up to draft Justin Fields. I'm like, whatever, we made a play. But we had just paid Andy Dalton a lot of money and named him the starter.
I know. Yeah.
And then we draft Justin Fields. Yeah. And then he's just like, we're seeing all these pictures and like, do you even want to be a Chicago Bear? Yeah. So Mr. Trubisky wasn't my guy, supported him. Justin Fields not my guy, supported him. I'm flying my flag for Caleb Williams right now. That's what I'm saying. I'm flying my flag for Caleb Williams.
I am all in on Caleb, and everyone else should be too, though. And like, I just want to make this clear in Chicago, like, we have to be behind him just as a city. And whether you were in the camp with Justin or not, like, we wish Justin the best, like we've talked about. But like we've moved on. There's no QB controversy anymore. It is singly Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
And you have to get behind him.
And there's going to be some growing pains. We'll have to see what the season shows. But I think realistically, we're a 10-win team easy. And that's what I'm hoping for. That's what my expectations are. But, I think the guy expects some growing pains going. And who knows what things come up. But the tools are there. And that leads us to...
Great. So
the number 9 pick.
Let's before we got to the pick here, I was really worried Odunze wasn't going to drop to us.
That's what I said in the podcast last week is like, I don't think that these 3 wide receivers are going to be on the board.
I didn't think so either. But the surprise pick was Atlanta drafting Michael Penix, which is eerily familiar of like the Mitch draft when they had Glennon behind him, and then when they had the Justin draft with Andy Dalton. I'm like, you go out in free agency and you get this quarterback, and then like Kirk Cousins is obviously a little higher profile than Andy Dalton.
Yeah. So kind of break us. So tell us like just from why was this a weird pick? So you mentioned Kirk Cousins for people who aren't aware of what's been going on in the offseason.
Sure.
So Atlanta picked at the 8th spot, right in front of the Bears, who picked at 9.
And so they just signed Kirk Cousins, what, $100 and some million?
It was $180 for 5 years.
And how much was guaranteed? Like $100 and some.
A fair amount of money.
Almost, it's all of it's guaranteed.
They paid Kirk Cousins a lot of money to be their starting quarterback.
And so then they draft Michael Penix, who
is a quarterback.
Yeah, and I was going to say he's kind of an older quarterback to begin with. He's like 24 years old.
Anyways, I forgot he is.
Which was kind of like, so it's not like he's a 21-year-old project. Like he's kind of starter ready to come in. And now all of a sudden you're going to have a QB controversy day one.
I don't think there's going to be a QB controversy. I think the plan is to have him sit. We talked about that being a good move, but is he going to? I don't know. Like I think if you go out and spend this kind of money, if I were an Atlanta fan, like you spend this kind of money on Kirk Cousins, you're kind of saying that you need to start winning games now.
Yeah,
because it's optimistic to think that Kirk Cousins got 5 good years in him, maybe 2 or 3.
But not only that, but maybe his Achilles isn't healed. But hang on.
That's an interesting thought. They wouldn't have paid him all that money if they didn't figure that out first.
Agreed, but at the same time though, I'm thinking they're gonna get Kirk Cousins a weapon. And I'm like, Odunze's gone, like whatever, right? Then we gotta go. The first defensive player wasn't taken till what, like 15, 16?
Yeah.
So these defensive players dropped. So the fact that Odunze dropped us was like, I couldn't believe all the stars aligned for us, and we actually got Odunze, and I was so excited. And you know who else was even more excited than I was, I
Who's
think?
more excited than you?
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, so
Caleb Williams was fucking pumped.
They broed out on the plane before. I guess I think they had even worked out.
Yeah, they worked out.
Bit. Yeah, so.
Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, they had a throwing session, and like he's like, we got our guy.
Yeah.
Like that's the fucking emotion I want to see.
Yeah,
Johnny.
no, I'm pumped for it too, man. Like, I think I want to see. You ever see like those charts of like the spectrum of like moods, and like towards the top right corner, it's like we are so fucking back, and then the very top right, it's like let's fucking go.
Yeah,
I gotta pull it up. I'll show it to you sometimes, but I need more. We are so fucking back in my life. That's kind of what I need.
It is. The Bears' offense right now is going to be absolutely insane, and like the fact that and it's great. This Rome Odunze pick is great because like Caleb's gonna have so many weapons around him. He doesn't really have to go out and just put up monster numbers and let the world be behind him. He's gonna have Swift, and Swift's gonna have all kind of running lanes because you have two premier receivers on the outside, and then Odunze too. Like if you're running 11 personnel out there, and you're gonna have Cole Kmet at tight end, and then just a single back there, dude, it's gonna be insane.
Yeah, so
it's gonna be tough to cover everyone.
I think so. I mean, I'm really hoping that it works out to be that way. Things on paper that don't always work out in practice, but I want to give you the scouting report on Rome Odunze.
Please.
So, wide receiver out of Washington Huskies.
Dub.
I'd be lying if I told you I watched any Washington Husky games.
Another Pac-12. They were in the national championship.
So I never. Wait, were they?
Yeah, UW was in the national championship.
God, why do I not remember anything about those games now? I feel like I did watch them. Yeah, that's crazy. But anyway, so Rome Odunze, 6'3", 212, out of Washington. Comparison, DJ is only 6. Keenan Allen is 6'2". So he's a little bit taller of the bunch. Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of like pretty lean guys. Michael Penix was his quarterback, so another top first-round pick. Senior year, he had 92 receptions for over 1,600 yards and 13 touchdowns.
Those are some sexy numbers.
His comparison is Larry Fitzgerald. So
really,
Fitzy. Yes, that's what I was reading in like the NFL scouting report.
That's a great comp. If he's anything like Fitz, like I think he's gonna be a great receiver. But if he's Larry Fitzgerald, I don't even know if he's in the Hall of Fame yet. But he's absolute future Hall of Famer.
Yes.
I heard that Larry Fitzgerald has more tackles than drops in his career.
I did read that once, yeah.
I think that's an accurate statement, which is insane.
Yeah. So I think the comparison is based on Rome Odunze, basically what he's really great at is like
50,
going
50
up getting 50-50 balls. Like just like the acrobatic, like how did he get that? Going up and getting a ball.
Yeah.
So basically the scouting reports was basically I was reading is just like there are going to be a lot of cornerbacks in the league that just can't cover this guy, and he's our third wide receiver.
Yeah, at 6'3", that's a pretty big guy, honestly. It's not Michael Williams size, but still it's a big guy to go up and get the ball.
So I think I don't know a ton about Keenan Allen's skill set. I know Keenan Allen is like just a great route runner. He's not like a burner. He's not like a huge guy.
Like a possession guy.
Yes. What I know about DJ Moore is like he's not like really your inside red zone guy. Like DJ Moore, he's fast. He's good with the deep ball. Yeah. But you're not gonna be lobbing a ton to DJ.
He can also break. He's really good at break. He reminds me of like OBJ.
DJ Moore is.
Yeah, because like he just break it.
Yeah. No, DJ Moore is like a great yards after the catch guy.
At any given point when he touches the ball, he can go to the house.
So what I think what Rome Odunze's role is like a guy that we can throw a fade to on the 5-yard line or make an acrobatic hit.
Too.
That's true too. But like I think. That's what I'm more excited about.
Gerald Everett too is really good at that.
But I'm talking about like just kind of providing a wide variety in the wide receiver position. So I think that's really good. But the cons on Rome Odunze from the scouting report is like he's not like an elite route runner. Like they said, needs some more attention to detail in the running. He's not like a burner. Like he ran like a 4.45. So he's fast, but like the cons is like he relies a lot on the 50-50 ball when maybe he should just be trying to create a little bit more separation.
I don't mind that.
Well, I mean,
because he's going to be a lot of one-on-one coverage.
But at the next level, are you going to be able to just out-athletic all of the cornerbacks?
But fine. But at the next level, though, anytime you get a one-on-one opportunity and you're in the pros and you're a first-round pick, you should be able to come down with that ball.
Yeah.
Like one-on-one coverage in the NFL doesn't happen often. And if you're getting with the weapons that the Bears have, he's going to get a lot of opportunities to have that 50-50 ball. Yeah,
so, I mean, I'd say the casual Bears fan knows the Caleb Williams things and knows that's a great pick for us. Odunze should not have fallen to us.
No,
I don't think so, and I think that's exactly what we need. I think if we didn't end up not getting, we probably would have gone with like an edge rusher, which would have been fine. But I'm pretty pumped about this because it just gives us even more depth at the wide receiver position.
The other thing, too, that I want to mention to a casual fan, but just for everyone else in general, just remember that we just reset the clock on the contract. That was the other con I had on Justin Fields because now we have under control. We have Caleb and Odunze. We have them under control for 4 guaranteed years on a rookie deal, contract, and then we have a 5th-year option.
Yeah. No, I mean,
John, we have literally almost half a decade of potential for dominance.
Yeah. So
you cannot not be excited.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I share in all of the optimism. I'm a cynic at heart. So I really got to see a couple of games go by and okay, this is actually
not even a couple of games. Yeah. I think this is going to be we're going to look back as a work of these multiple years.
Yeah,
because we can't be overreacting. Week 1 comes out and Caleb sucks. We're still going to be. I'm still going to be excited.
I agree. But I'll just say I'll agree and we'll leave it at that.
Okay, fine.
Right. Any other notes on Odunze?
I'm just super pumped. It seems like him and Justin got a great chemistry already. They're kind of locked together. They're handcuffed themselves their next 4 years. So I'm glad they want to be boys because they're going to be boys.
Yeah. So hopefully. So those are the Bears' first round picks. We did not have a second round pick.
But what happened with the second round?
So
pick?
Our second round pick went to acquire Montez Sweat.
Let's go.
Who was an animal last year? Obviously,
Pro Bowler.
Yes.
Let's go.
So he was an animal last year. So
great second round pick there.
Great second round pick. I think those comparisons are kind of apples and oranges because it's fine because we paid him a ton of money. We didn't pay him like we'd pay a second round pick.
Still though, it was a good acquisition.
Yes. Okay. So next up in the third round at pick number 75, and I'm going to butcher this name, Kiran Amegadjie.
You did a better job than I did.
So Yale boy, we got ourselves an Ivy Leaguer.
Hang on. I actually looked it up because I never heard him either. So let me tell you, correct me wrong. So he's French.
Oh, I did not know that.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Pretty sure he didn't like football.
Okay.
And then he started to like, and then he gave football a second chance.
Are you sure that he's from France? Because my scouting report was he's actually from Hinsdale, Illinois.
Oh.
Yes. I mean, maybe his family's French. Mm-hmm. But he has ties to Illinois. Grew up a Bears fan.
Can you maybe edit that out then if he's not from France? It says Hinsdale. You're right.
Okay. I'm definitely not editing that out.
Yikes.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't know where you got
born in Hinsdale. Why did I think it was French?
I don't know, man.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. That's ugly.
He's never gonna come on the podcast now. But offensive tackle from Yale.
Yes.
So Bears. He played left tackle. Yeah. Bears obviously do. Bears I think did need a left tackle, but the chatter about him is he's not going to be a day one starter.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's a project.
He might swing a little bit. I think we're probably going to still be rolling with Bowers, our current left tackle.
Yep.
But I think he's got potential. So he played 4 seasons at left tackle. He played 4 games at left tackle his senior year. But he missed the remainder of the season with a quad injury.
Yep.
So
he played how many games? 3 games, right?
I think it was 4. I read 4.
Okay.
Maybe 3 or 4. But he missed the remainder of the season with a quad injury. His report, he's got great size and athleticism. He's got great wingspan.
Yeah.
But basically, like I said, he might not have the footwork and the day one plug and play ability that maybe I'm still hoping that we can find on the offensive line. I've got a lot of questions about offensive line. Obviously, the draft, we can't address everyone and get a day one starter. That's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But I think this is a guy who adds some more depth, which we did add a lot of depth. Hopefully, this offensive line room is going to get better than it was last year.
Yeah. So what I would say about that too is the fact he is, now that I know this, that he is a Chicago guy from Chicago. Yeah. That's a win. That's a great plug and play for the locker room.
I mean,
someone who grew up a Bears fan, how motivated would you be if
you have friends and family at all your games?
Yep.
You're not going to want to go there and phone it in. So hopefully he's hitting hard. I mean, I'm sure all these guys are professionals or hitting it hard, but hopefully he can progress into someone who's a day-to-day starter.
The other thing I heard too is that if he didn't get hurt, I guess he's got all the metrics to be a first round pick, his size, his wingspan, I guess he had a good combine too. So
maybe he'll surprise us. Yeah, maybe he dropped because he was hurt, and that was baked in. And
what I'm gonna say as well is I trust Poles with everything he was doing at this point. Yeah. So we have to trust he's gonna be all right.
That being said,
I know.
Go on to the next pick, and you've been teasing that you have a lot to say about this.
Okay.
My guy, Tory Taylor. drafted a little bit earlier than you would expect for a punter.
Yeah.
But is the best punter in the NCAA
Okay,
right now.
so when I saw that the Bears, I went to Home Depot this weekend 7 times. No exaggeration.
Okay.
So
your nails were filthy, by the way.
Oh, I know.
We were talking about nails, but you need to clean those up.
Yeah, I was trying in the shower. I did a lot of yard work. Anyways, so I was like, oh, I wonder who the Bears took or whatever, and I saw they took a punter, and I was like, what the fuck?
My wife actually texted me being like, aren't punters just everywhere? Why would we draft a punter?
Okay, and then I saw. So let me tell you my progression of how this was.
Sure.
And then I saw he's from Iowa.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Johnny's gonna be. It doesn't matter. He's gonna be so pumped that they took an Iowa punter boy.
It's great to be a Hawkeye.
Yeah.
There's more layers to that, but you finish your thought first.
Okay, so then I don't know if you ever heard my thing. If I became a GM, the first thing I would do as a GM,
What would you do?
I would cut my punter and my kicker.
Okay.
Because a punter and a kicker should be able to do the same fucking job. Like, no problem. That's how much I devalue.
You're so wrong, though.
Okay.
You're so wrong.
I agree, Johnny, but that used to be a joke that I used to say. Okay. So that's my
Sure.
view on punters.
Okay.
And then I started like looking him up. I guess he is like the greatest punter of all the NCAA. There's more.
In Iowa's bowl game, I just want to expound on that. In Iowa's bowl game, he became the highest leader in punt yards. That was an 85-year-old record.
Okay, so that's great, which is sad. And then the other thing too is like the Hawkeyes. I remember last season it was like bet the under for every single game.
Yes.
So if their offense is that bad, there's no way they're winning without an extraordinarily good punter who's pinning them back. Then I found out he's an Aussie guy.
Aussie, yeah.
So
he's from Melbourne. Melbourne, Australia.
So here's the thing about these Aussie punters. I know they are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And like, here's the thing. If Poles is constructing this team to legitimately be a Super Bowl winning team, you actually, like I've said this before, special teams are so fucking...
Yeah.
Belichick, those Patriot teams, those special teams were phenomenal. So if you're getting this punter who's, and like the joke said, like, you're not going to need to punt a lot on this team or whatever, fine, great joke.
Yeah.
But like, you're going to have to punt in the NFL.
Yeah.
And if you're going to have to punt, like, why not put your defense in the best possible position as ever?
So to go on, so you ended up, so you were initially like, why did I do this?
Yes.
And why did we pick him?
And then in polls I trusted, and then I went through the whole progression. I'm like, all right, fine, polls. I also think maybe Eberflus and polls were kind of like, you were like, oh, I want like, like an edge rusher or something like that. And then polls is like, how about we compromise and get a punter?
Well, it's funny you should say that. So he's actually 6'4", 225.
Oh, so you could
So he's not punt. Yeah, so he could, maybe they could spot him over at the edge position. Because this dude's a rugby player, obviously.
Yeah.
A little bit more on him because obviously I watched a lot of Iowa games.
Yep.
He was
bored out of your mind.
Back to back. He was back-to-back special teams player of the week. I think he was first team All-Pro. He broke the single season record for punt yards. Iowa averaged number three in the country in most punts per game. He punted it almost 7 times a game. But still averaged over, I think it was 46.3 yards per punt.
So that just means Iowa's not moving the ball.
No, there was a game last year against I believe it was South Dakota or South Dakota State or something, where Iowa won 7-3.
Yeah.
And it was a field goal and 2 safeties, and both those safeties were set up by punts.
I remember.
Punts flagged down inside the 10-yard line. He was a great coffin quarter guy. I think there were some cons, like what I was reading is like, sometimes I think he can mishit, like, those punts that just kind of like go like where like just off into nowhere.
Yeah.
Maybe that comes with being like a rugby type of guy.
Because aren't the rugby punts kind of like
I don't know anything about rugby.
So they're not the typical end over end punts.
Yeah.
I think they're like the wobbly, but wobbly they like go straight up and come. I think.
I don't know. I don't know much about the differences, but it sounds like and another thing is like when I saw this pick, obviously I was just like, oh, awesome, like the Iowa punter I know is pretty good. But he was better after I did research. But I was just like, did we need a punter?
Yeah.
And what's your thought?
Pat O'Donnell
Pat O'Donnell's been gone for 2 or 3 years.
I just remember
he plays for the Packers.
I just remember you. Oh yeah, I did know that. I remember you paid him to do the cameo.
Yeah.
And then he actually follows Basha on Instagram.
Does he really?
Yeah, which is my wife. So Pat O'Donnell.
Interesting. Did he ever message her or something like that?
I don't know. That would have been. I should ask.
That's crazy because he's like a father of at least one.
Oh man.
Yeah. Basha better check her DMs. No, I'm just kidding. Pat O'Donnell was a very nice man. I actually
You golf Topgolf, right?
Yeah, we went to Topgolf together because my aunts did some charity auction. I actually went with it was Patrick Scales, the long snapper at the time, and I believe it was Connor Barth, the field goal kicker at the time. They all three of them went with me and my cousins and my aunt to Topgolf.
It's awesome.
Yeah, paddled on, a real nice guy. All three of them were really nice guys.
I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure.
So, but Trenton Gill was our punter.
Oh,
and,
yeah, I
and if you
him.
think about I never really felt like I had any qualms about him, but it turns out he had he was last in the league in yards per punt at 38.
And we punted a lot last year.
Yeah, no, for sure. So
Yeah.
maybe he was just tired, but we know, but we know Tory Taylor is not getting tired. So
here's the other thing. What do you? I think being a punter may be the least stressful job. Like being a field goal kicker, that's stressful.
yeah,
But being a punter, most of the time, if you're gonna go get a drink at a game or you're gonna go get a food or whatever, it's fourth down, they're gonna punt. That's the time to run to the bathroom or something.
there's usually less. There's less ways that you can screw up a punt. But yeah, anyway, this is just kind of this is the state of Iowa last year. People wearing shirts for punts, cheering for the punts, and also shit like this here for the punter. Iowa was very reliant on this guy. He's a big boy. I'm excited about that pick. I think it's just an upgrade. When I thought about positions that we need to fill, obviously quarterback, wide receiver, tackle, edge rusher. Didn't realize it was punter, but I
told you, Eberflus and Poles had a conversation. It's compromise.
So. But then, so that was all the picks that the Bears had left.
Yeah.
We traded with the Bills to draft Austin Booker in the 5th round. We got our pick that we gave them this pick this year. I think it was for Ryan Bates.
Yeah.
And we traded them next year's a 4th round pick for next year.
Okay.
So we ended up getting edge rusher Austin Booker. So
I don't know much about him. Please enlighten me.
So Austin Booker, I had to look this guy up. So he's a defensive lineman from Kansas. He was picked 144, defensive end rather. So he's an edge rusher. Mm-hmm. He played 12 games this year and had 8 sacks, 12 tackles for a loss, 2 forced fumbles, but he only started 1 game. He not a lot of sample size in this guy. I think he declared a little early. And I'm not sure what the motivations were for doing that.
Money.
Maybe. But he had a really good Senior Bowl, and I think the Bears, I heard that the Bears were very impressed by that, and he also had a high pressure rate. It was 12.1%.
Okay.
Number 2 in the Big 12 of his pressure rate. So, again, is this going to be a guy who's plug and play, edge? Could be. Or he might just be kind of a depth guy.
Sorry.
Just look up videos while I'm talking.
No, I'm trying to go on his draft profile right now.
So that's pretty much all I know about him. He declared he's not a big sample size.
Can I tell you his NFL comparison on NFL.com?
What's his NFL comparison?
Max Crosby.
Max Crosby. That's a big comparison.
I mean, yeah.
I feel like Max Crosby is a bigger dude than because I think Austin Booker, he's kind of a skinny, quick guy.
I mean,
there are people who are big on him. People really believe that he fell.
Projected draft round is 3rd round.
Yeah.
Here's his overview. Truly a unique prospect combining tremendous upside with an extremely limited sample size. There you go.
So I think Poles saw hey, why is this guy falling? This is the position that we need. And he traded and he got it. And I think that another great move. I think I don't have really any realistic criticisms on paper of any of these people that Ryan Poles picked.
Yeah. No, I think he had a great draft. I think. The punter was a little questionable, but in Poles we trust. But I was looking at the draft grades, and some people were giving the Bears not an A+, and I'm how can you not give them an A+? And the only way you can not give them an A+ is that you're just they had so much draft capital in the 1st round, picks 1 and 9 that you can't they
didn't have to be savvy. They just made the smart move.
Exactly, and that's the only way you can't give them.
They didn't do anything outrageous. Other than maybe draft a punter.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying, right? They had arguably the best draft that I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Actually, the Texans had a really good draft last year with Will Anderson.
That's true.
And C.J. Stroud.
That actually reminds me. Tank Dell was. I guess technically Tank Dell was shot yesterday.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that just came out this morning.
Tank
Dell was at very minor wounds. He's just fine. I don't know much of the details of it, but apparently I was just as I was kind of researching for this podcast, Tank Dell from the Texans was at a public event. There was some sort of it was some sort of fight some teenager pulled out a gun and wounded 10 people. Nobody injured in any serious.
Wow, that's actually
any serious sort of way. But,
that actually took a turn. I thought it was gonna be like a Plexico Burst situation.
No. I don't think there's any reason to believe that Tank Dell did anything irresponsible.
Remember that?
Yes.
He brought a club.
Gun in the club.
And he didn't have a safety on.
Yeah.
And he shot himself.
So basically, there was in some sort of private setting, there was some sort of fight that Tank Dell was not.
That's unfortunate.
And some teenagers just shot into a group of people.
But you never know with these wide receivers, man. Henry Ruggs, like, come on.
But that's what I'm saying. But Tank Dell does not seem to be in any. There's no insinuation that there's any fault of his.
Understood.
That being said, I want to end on one little point here. I'm not sure if you saw. I think C.J. Stroud was in some sort of interview, and he kind of puts the Bears organization on blast after the draft, being like, "Why couldn't they do all this for Justin Fields?" And CJ, you don't know.
I can tell you because we traded the city. We traded the city to get Justin Fields.
Yes, we're not professional analysts, CJ, but you're not even an amateur analyst.
Yeah.
So basically, what it's saying is just like they went out and got all this stuff. Why couldn't they built around Justin? It seems really unfair. He had 3 coaches. He had it
is unfair.
I mean, but it's like it's not because the Bears decided they didn't want to. And you know what? And I won't even hear it. We went out and we said it multiple times on this podcast. Like we went out and got DJ Moore last year.
That was huge.
We traded the first overall pick.
Yep.
And then what did we do?
Gave you a chance.
And then what did we do with we traded down to it was like the 10th spot or something like that. Do you know what we did?
Drafted a tackle.
We drafted a tackle.
Yeah, dude, I'm with you.
Yes.
I know.
So I mean, certainly there was more building to be done.
Yeah.
But if Justin Fields would have shown like a little bit more.
Darnell Wright, that's his name.
Yeah, Darnell Wright. A little bit more, I think we would have kept him. I think if Justin Fields was even like a top 15 quarterback in the league, I think we would have kept him. I think we would have traded the Hall. Maybe I don't know. But
we don't know anymore. But we're moving on, and we're here for Caleb.
I just want to say I'm not here for the criticisms of the Bears wanted Justin Fields to fail.
Can you bring up the draft thing? The thing I sent you. Did you have that up?
I don't believe I do.
Well, I think I can tell you how.
I can find it. You can chat.
How the Bears ended. So number 1, first round Caleb, second Rome Odunze, or first round second pick was Rome. Their second round pick was usually get Sweat, which was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Their third round pick, I forgot what they did with the third round pick.
Pulling it up.
Was that Keenan Allen?
I don't believe so. No, round 3 Keenan Allen. So basically, all the picks that the Bears traded or used, this is pretty much what. So we got Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, Montez Sweat was the second round. We gave up a second round pick to get him last year.
Yep.
And then we got Kieran.
Fourth round.
Fourth round was Keenan Allen, and then we drafted the punter with our real 4th round pick. We also gave away a 4th round pick to draft Ryan Bates, who is predominantly a center but can play lots of positions on the line. And then we got Austin Booker. Yep. So this is essentially the masterclass by Ryan Pohl. So this is essentially what our draft was. Even though we only had 5 of a potential 7 picks, I think I heard someone say that we have like
12 picks next year?
I think, we gave 1 away, so it might be 10 or 11.
I mean, we double-digit picks next year.
Which is pretty nuts.
Thanks, Carolina.
I would imagine that we won't walk into the draft with that many picks. I hope we don't. I hope we use them to kind of leverage some other things. Because at the end of the day, you don't really need 12 new rookies.
I mean...
not all of them will make the team.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah. But I'm so excited. Yeah. I'm so pumped for this Bears season. Yeah. Chicago's hyped.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go too, man. And if you're watching at this point, thank you very much, for supporting us. Subscribe, comment what you think. Are you excited?
Are you excited? How excited are you? Will you run through a brick wall? Because I'm considering it.
Are you just going to give a crisp high five to one of your boys, just being like, hey, let's fucking go for the Bears? That's just fine too. Not all of us need to run through a brick wall, but we all show our excitement in different ways. So. But that's where I'm at. Somewhere between running through a wall and a crisp high five with one of your bros.
Yeah, I'm pumped, dude.
And we'll be doing videos every single week throughout the off season. This and that about the NFL, other sports news, other Chicago news. A new stadium was just announced.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be an infuriating thing to research. But we'll talk about that another day.
I hope we get Hard Knocks.
I think we'll get Hard Knocks.
It'll be amazing.
Unless the Bears have the ability to say no, which if I were the Bears organization, I would say no. If they have the ability to say no, then they'll say no. But if you don't have... Because why would anybody say yes?
I mean, the exposure...
Who wants that? Who would want that?
I would come to Chicago.
Eberflus isn't getting paid for having a bunch of cameras muddy up the situation. So I'm saying the Bears probably don't have the opportunity to say no. If the NFL is saying that you're doing Hard Knocks, then the Bears are doing Hard Knocks.
How hard did Goodell get booed? It was so funny.
I actually don't think I was actually at work for the draft.
Dude.
I did watch it, but I muted it until Caleb was actually
He's so uncomfortable. Like Detroit just booed him the
He
whole
gets
time.
booed every year.
But
There's no way
he was literally just like, all right, guys, like it's enough.
I don't truly understand, but I just don't understand like that much hate, that much vitriol for Roger Goodell.
You guys boo the crap out of me too when I'm the commissioner and they boo the crap out of me.
That's true.
I love it.
Yeah. Maybe Goodell loves it too.
Let me just see really quick because I just want to get this number right. So whatever. I want to see how much Roger Goodell's making.
How much do you make?
You
can't find it?
I mean, let me see.
You're gonna leave something on a cliffhanger? You gotta find out how much Goodell makes.
Oh yeah, so last year he made $63.9 million.
That's a lot of money.
So I would get booed for $63.9 million too.
Yeah, and then Roger Goodell does as well. So he's not gonna quit because we're booing him.
All right, throw your hat, Sean.
All right, peace. I don't like this dual thing that I throw the hat.
That's fine.
I know
You
Jeff
throw
tried
the
to make it seem like everybody throws a hat. I throw the hat.
Fine, you throw the hat.